What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing amazing, taking care of yourselves, and maybe, just maybe, remembering to drink a glass of water between your grinding sessions. I see you. Today, we are diving deep into the world of Wuthering Waves, because the rumor mill is spinning faster than ever, and you and I need to talk about the massive characters that are supposedly just over the horizon. We're not talking about small fries here. We're discussing the big names that have the entire community losing their minds. The enigmatic Scar, the formidable Geshulin, and honestly, the one that's come out of left field for a lot of people, this mysterious new blonde mecha man. The hype is absolutely real. But before we jump into the rest of the events, a quick word from today's sponsor. Lootbar.gg is a site that gives you big discounts on your in-game purchases. Let's take Wuthering Waves as an example. You can actually see the price difference right away when you compare. The process is super simple. Pick the pack you want, click Top Up, choose your payment method, and that's it. Your rewards show up right on your account. And don't worry, your login info is completely cleared after the transaction, so it's safe. New users can get up to 21% off plus additional discount coupons from the link in the description. And yes, first-time top-up bonuses are available as well. So, let's kick things off with the newest enigma on the block. This character seemingly popped up out of nowhere, and the community has already dubbed him the Blonde Mecha Man. Now, the word on the street, according to reliable sources like Ruben, is that this guy is slated to be our next 5-star male character. Kuro Games is playing this one incredibly close to the chest, so solid, hard facts are scarce. But you know how it is. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and the community has some wild and fascinating theories cooking. The big debate right now is, what exactly is he? There are 3 main camps. First, you've got the group that believes he's going to be a full-blown, straight-up robot. No human inside, just pure, sentient machine. Then, there's the second theory that he might be a human piloting a mech suit from the inside, kind of drawing parallels to a character like Sam from Honkai Star Rail. And then you have my personal favorite, the idea that he could be a hybrid, some kind of cyborg, half human, half machine. No matter which of these theories ends up being true, one thing is for certain. He is going to bring a completely fresh and unique aesthetic to the game. That heavy metal, futuristic, almost sci-fi vibe is something that feels like a missing piece in the current roster, and honestly, I am so here for it. The game could totally use that kind of flavor. Now let's move on to a name that needs no introduction. I'm talking about Scar. Just saying his name probably sent a shiver of excitement down your spine, right? This is the character everyone has been begging to see become playable after he just vanished from the story for what felt like an eternity. So, imagine the collective gasp from the community when he made his grand, dramatic comeback in the version 2.7 storyline. That moment in the trailer and the story quest wasn't just a reappearance, it was a statement. It was the gaming equivalent of him walking into a room and everyone just shutting up. It gave me chills, and it basically confirmed for all of us that his journey is far from over. It's almost a certainty now that he will finally join our playable roster. So, let's break down what we think we know. My personal prediction? Scar is going to be a 5-star fusion element character, and the weapon that makes the most sense for him is the Rectifier. The whole theme of fusion just fits his enigmatic and intense personality. And the Rectifier? It aligns perfectly with the fighting style we've seen glimpses of, where he uses these card-like mechanics in battle. It just clicks. Now, the big debate swirling around him is about his role. Is he going to be a main DPS, or will he slot into a support role? I'm not ready to plant my flag firmly in either camp just yet. We need some official confirmation before I start theory crafting teams. But what I am excited to do is imagine how his kit could work. Just picture this with me. His basic attacks involve him throwing out these elegant, dangerous cards. But each card does something totally different. Maybe one card is a straight-up pyro or fusion explosion. Another might apply a nasty damage over time effect, like a burn or a debuff. A third could be a support card that floats over to your team and gives them an attack buff or an energy recharge. And then, his ultimate. Imagine he snaps his fingers, and the entire battlefield transforms. The screen darkens, and this eerie glowing domain activates, something straight out of a high-stakes anime battle. Inside that domain, he could set card-based traps on the field that trigger when enemies step on them. He could get a massive personal power amplification. Maybe he even has a unique mechanic where he drains the strength from his enemies to empower himself. The potential is insane. Also, here's a tiny but massive detail that I know a lot of you eagle-eyed players spotted. His tacit mark, that core identifier for resonators, is located on his neck. And guess who else shares that exact same placement? That's right, Geshulin. We are absolutely coming back to that in a second, because that is fascinating. As for when we can expect to see him, my best guess, and this is just a guess based on the story's pacing, is that Scar will probably drop sometime around version 3.5 or maybe even a little later. It's still a bit of a wait, but for a character with this much presence, I have a feeling it's going to be worth every second of the anticipation. Speaking of anticipation, let's talk about the other man of the hour, Geshulin. Oh my gosh. I feel like I've been waiting for this guy since the game's beta. The hype train for him is running just as fast and furious as the one for Scar, and for good reason. Based on all the information we've managed to scrape together, the general consensus is that Geshulin is likely going to be a 5-star Electro character who wields a broadblade. And this isn't just blind speculation. We have actual, tangible proof from the game's earlier trailers. We've seen him, clear as day, swinging that massive, hulking sword around like it weighs nothing. The man is an absolute unit. His exact element isn't 100% locked in yet, but judging purely from his design, his color scheme, and the overall vibe he gives off, Electro feels like a perfect match. He has that aura of contained, explosive power. He feels like the kind of character who isn't about speed. He's about pure, unadulterated impact. The type of fighter who moves deliberately, swings once, and everything in a 10-mile radius just ceases to exist. You know the type. Slow, heavy, and devastating. I personally have a theory about his kit. I think it might scale with his HP, or it could involve some kind of corrosion or fee mechanic. Something that makes his attacks feel incredibly weighty and dangerous, like he's sacrificing a bit of his own vitality to unleash world-ending blows. It would fit that high-risk, high-reward fantasy. From the little we saw in the trailer, his attack patterns look huge. Massive area of effect swings that are slow, but completely obliterate everything they touch. And then you have his burst mode. You just know he's going to have a moment where he powers up and unleashes everything he has into one single, screen-shaking, cataclysmic strike. It's going to be glorious. Now, remember that detail I mentioned with Scar? Here's where it gets interconnected. Geshulin's tacet mark is also on his neck. Let that sink in for a second. We have two of the most highly anticipated characters, both making major comebacks around the same time in the story, and they both share this very specific, very unusual placement for their tacet mark. That is not a coincidence. That is Kuro Games telling us a story. It feels like the developers are building towards something much deeper here. Do they share a past? Were they part of the same experiment or organization? Is this leading up to a massive, interconnected story event that will bring both of their narratives together? The implications are huge, and it has my story senses tingling. So, what do you think? Do you have any wild theories about the Mecha Man's origin? Are you saving all your polls for Scar, or is Geshulin your #1 target? And most importantly, what's your take on the connected tacit mark mystery? I'm dying to know what you all think, so seriously, drop your theories and comments down below. I read them all, and I love seeing your creative takes on this stuff. Of course, a final disclaimer. All of this is based on early information, leaks, and community speculation. Things are subject to change as Kuro Games finalizes everything, but one thing is for sure. The next few updates for Wuthering Waves are shaping up to be absolutely wild. The character pipeline is looking stacked. So, hey, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, you're a legend. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.